Howdy folks, welcome back. We've been gone on vacation for a week, so I haven't got much done, but I do have a lot to get done. Matter of fact, coming up this next week is our annual local festival, Harlan Days, and we're pretty involved in that, and I'll have a lot to do for that isn't necessarily a part of this channel, but there is some stuff I need to get done. Most of you know I've got Louie here, my triaxle Ford dump truck, and I bought that thing and I've used it way more than I ever thought I would. And in the process of doing so, I've neglected quite a few things, and well, I want to tackle some of that. And for those that are interested, I will do a little recap of our vacation in Tennessee, so we'll have that to look at. Otherwise, better just get busy on what I'm trying to get done today. I made a list. I'll show you. Dig Drive DIY. So despite having several note-taking apps on my phone that are all just wonderful, I really still like the paper list approach. I feel like when you put pen on paper, you get your thoughts down there without any distractions of the phone. It's just easier to get down what you really want to do. And then the best part is you get to scratch it off, physically scratch it off. But maybe you notice the first item on the list, and that has to do with one of the most popular questions I get every time I show the dump truck on screen. And that is, why don't you use the tarp more often? Well, like I've said, sometimes I forget that I have the tarp, but actually lately I haven't used it because the tarp is about shot. See, the stitching has broke and the thing is about to fall off of here. Let's unwind this tarp and get a better look. So originally, I was thinking about trying to fix this thing, but the more I look at it, the more I start to question that. First of all, it'll be very difficult to try to stitch it while it's up here without taking it off. So I'm about to have to take it off. And then the other thing I notice is even if I did stitch it, this part right here that's been exposed to the weather the most is kind of brittle. The part that's rolled up and never exposed looks great, but this sun-kissed part here, I'm all about DIY repair, but you got to have the right tools too, and I don't have the right tools. I'm not going to drag this and use Kara's sewing machine. She's not going to do it. I think our best approach is to try to get this thing off of there and then see if I can get a new one. I'm not sure how this is attached to that roller in the front, but I'm going to try to unroll it and figure it out. Bolted on. Okay, my only fear with this is that those bolts break off in that roller up there. Ugh. Could it be that easy? Oh, there's a little nut in the channel. Well, I've never messed with one of these tarps before, but so far so good. Okay, let's look at this back. This thing's got a pocket sewn in it, so I gotta take this apart and get this rubber off of there. Take that nut off of there. This. It's handy. All right. This is spring loaded. So I gotta try to get that popped apart. Slides. Oh, just a little stopper. That's it. So far, so good, man. It's almost unnerving when something goes this well. Pretty simple, really. You know, the other problem is though, I think that even if I repaired this, it has been stored in the bad position wrong, and it's almost like wrinkled and kinked here at the top. This is stretched and this is super thin right here. So I don't think that I always noticed that when it unrolled, it was always bunched up in the back, and I think this is why. It's probably time for a new one, but I could cut it off. It's like $200 for a new one, so I think that's probably worth my time, but it is hard to swallow. 7 by 22. Seems plenty long for a 15-foot bed. The other thing I need is up here. I need to try to get a new battery cover. When I got this truck, there was no battery cover on there, and the battery's been bouncing around. I need a battery hold down like that one over here. I also need a cover. The box measures 23. All right, I got my battery box measurements. I need a lid. That's probably gonna be a tall order. Nobody in town's gonna have that. It's a 30-year-old dump truck, but I'll look. Yeah, so for those of you who missed last week's video, I was getting this truck ready to take it on our vacation. We headed on down to Norris Lake in Tennessee. It's in eastern Tennessee, just north of Knoxville a little bit. And this is actually our 4th time visiting Norris Lake, and the first time we've been at the east end of the lake. This lake is huge. It's got all these little fingers and channels because they dammed up one end of a big valley and then let it flood. So the water just meanders in all different directions and in between hills and mountains. It creates a beautiful landscape. But anyway, we loaded up the truck and I pulled a trailer down there full of our kayaks and fishing gear and golf clubs, because it wasn't just for my family, it was for my mom and dad and my brother's family and my other brother's family and my entire family. So it looked like we were hauling a lot of stuff to go off for a week, but it was everybody's stuff. Anyway, the truck made it down there just fine, and this place was beautiful. It's big enough to house all 15 of us. And once we got settled in, we realized we were able to back the trailer right down to the lake. Normally there's a lot of houses, there's a bunch of steps getting down to the water. Well, this one was nice because we were able to walk most of the way. Actually, we were able to walk all the way down to the water, just a hill rather than stairs. So we parked the trailer down there, and then we were able to use it at night kind of as our storage shed, which worked out great. So in some of the other places we've stayed, you're closer to town and hiking trails and things that you can do, but this particular house had a 25 or 30 minute drive of steep, windy road just to get to the cabin, which meant we were kind of forced to just stay at the house a little bit more, which was a nice thing. We had brought enough food for everyone for almost the entire week, and really the only times we needed to leave was for maybe golfing and maybe to go out for supper one night at a marina. I'll show you a little more of that later maybe, but I am almost here where I need to be. I'm gonna see if I can find some of those parts and get a tarp. Well, I made it, but there's a sign on the door that says they're closed for a work party. So the one day I get to go running around for stuff, they're closed. I mean, I'm not mad they're having a work party. That sounds like fun, but I'm gonna try somewhere else. They may not have everything I want though. This place has got some of those little imported heavy equipment, not heavy equipment, light equipment. Boy, the excavator arm on that one was tiny. Strike one. Let's see what they got here. All right, I got a black one. So this ought to work, I hope. Okay, no luck on the battery door. All right. Made it home with our tarp, new wipers, and I struck out on the battery door. Everybody acts like I'm from Mars when I talk about a battery tray cover. So that's something I'm gonna have to try to look up and figure out myself, unless you can help me with that. But all right, let's do the tarp. I gotta check one thing off. It's amazing how long this stuff takes. There it goes. Okay, a little more. Stop. Good job. All right, finally got one thing off the list. Oh my gosh, that feels good, but this is getting too hot. So I'm gonna move this over to the shade, do the next few things. All right, I need to put wipers on this thing because they were terrible the last time. Do you remember the last time you saw a bolt and a nut to hold on a windshield wiper? So yeah, back to our vacation. We were kind of stuck in the house, not really, but it was just easier to stay at the house, which was kind of a nice change of pace.
your knees
Corinne's
to your
first
chest.
try at skiing. This year we spent way more time on the water than we ever have in the past. We have a family boat that we share. Mom and Dad own the controlling share of it, but we all have a piece of an interest in the boat. But the kids all got to learn how to wakeboard this year for the first time. They did a ton of tubing. We kept thinking it was going to get rained out, but no, we were in the boat a lot. Nice job. Last one. Holy cow. She's down, she's down. Well, that was pretty good. The boat does the trick.
It looks familiar.
Now tell me you're a tractor guy on vacation without telling me you're a tractor guy on vacation. So yeah, the boating, it was a really good time. Kids loved it. But wipers are installed and it's time to move on to the next thing. I'm gonna try to get this thing washed just once. I've owned it almost a year and I haven't washed it yet. I really want to just get the wheels rinsed off and try my little hubcaps. You know what I get to do now? I get to mark something off my list. I am not going to get to any of this stuff at the bottom. I don't need the skid loader at Harlan Days, but I need the backhoe. Do you want to help me clean windows?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll bring it up here in the shade. Okay, you got your Windex, your newspapers. Here's a vacuum to clean the inside. The newspapers don't leave like a fuzzy residue behind. Just don't get into the grease because Mom will kill you and then me. So don't get into the grease, but you can stand there and do this side. You can stand on the other side and do the front. I'll get you a ladder so you can do the sides and then do the insides. But you see this right here, like this? This should be like clear to look through.
Okay.
I really want to get all of these wheels polished up, but I never have enough time. So until then, I'm going to do a little polish in a bottle. See what it does. It'll be interesting. It says all you got to do is clean the wheels off first, which I did, and then I'm going to spray it on there. And, I don't know. Let's check it out. Maybe it just turns them white. It's acid. Well, I think they're a little bit better. Yeah. From a distance, they look better. Let's look at this side that's been pressure washed in acid. And let's see what this side looks like. Oh yeah, there's a big difference. Can you tell a difference?
Yeah.
You could try to get that up there. Whew, at least this is exercise. Actually, the last bit of exercise I got was on vacation, so we didn't spend the whole time in the boat. We got away one time. So we golf about 1 or 2 times a year. I really enjoy golf, but just never make the time for it. We do try to make the time on vacation. So my dad and my 2 brothers and I, we always try to golf when we're down here in Tennessee. I've had these shoes that I bought at a garage sale for probably 20 plus years. Today's the day. All right, so this shoe's living on borrowed time. I asked if anyone had any tape. Fortunately, Dad and Nate are electricians.
Here, I'll patch you up.
Super
Sit on the
33.
chair.
Dr. Sparky.
Not too tight. Oh, come on. Looking good. Oh, too far. Right. Nice shot. Good one. We got our 9 holes in at Wood Lake Lodge. Of course, we didn't keep score, so we don't know who won or who did the best, which is fine. They're going in the trash. I think they rusted out. Okay, golf day complete. So the girls are all done with the backhoe. I got the dump truck all washed up. I got one more finishing touch I can do on that, but I have 2 things I can mark off the list. All right, now in order to prepare for Harlan Days tomorrow, I've got to get an attachment for the backhoe that probably most of you have never seen before. This looks great. They got the windows cleaned up. They even swept the floor. Just cleaning something can rejuvenate your interest and improve your mood. So thanks, girls. This is our bucket extension to do trash at Harlan Days. And we put this on the front, and then every night we go down through the festival midway and clean up all of the trash bags and put them in the backhoe bucket so that I can go put them in the dumpster. The day is about over. Everything always goes too fast, just like vacation. It was here and gone too fast. Right, well, it is our last night here in Tennessee. It also happens to be Kara and I's 21st wedding anniversary, so we figured we'd take a nice romantic night out in the boat with 13 of our closest family members.
Both of these go way back.
Those are called houseboats. Ready to get something to eat?
Yeah, I got water on my phone.
You ready to go back to Orion's house?
No,
Can you tell me goodbye, Tennessee?
bye, Uncle Neil.
You guys ready to head home?
No.
No. Well, that's a wrap, literally. Got the boat tied up. Norris Lake 2024. I guess this one's in the books. We're ready to head home. So hopefully I got just enough time left to do what I've been wanting to do the entire day. Oh, man, this is really gonna change it up. Hopefully these things fit. Well, this is certainly going to jazz up the looks of this, but it is going to take me a while. So the big reveal is going to have to wait until the morning when there's light. But don't worry, it's going to be here for you, just like that. It has been a full day since I last worked on these hubs. We've already been to the park and did a ton of work out there all day today, but this turned out great. I've had these little hubcaps for months now. I don't know what took me so long, but check it out. I think it looks good, especially from a distance. You know, this truck has good bones. It doesn't have a lot of rust on the bed. The cab's pretty solid and straight. So I could hear an argument where someone says you don't need to paint it, just run it like it is. I understand that, but additionally, I think it would make a great candidate for a repaint. You know that I'm looking to repaint my F750. That's in the works and hopefully gonna get done soon. But I think I'm also gonna paint this one to match. And for longtime viewers that have kind of picked up on some of the hints I've dropped on my color choices, then you know I'm hoping to paint it black. And I really like that red, orange, yellow stripe like that's on some of the retro looking machines. It's been on Toyotas, it's been on Fords, and it's on that one Yamaha snowmobile that we have. So that's kind of the theme I want to go for. I want that to be the new brand colors, and I'll be looking for your feedback. I already had one viewer that mocked up that same color scheme on my F750, and I like the start there. Thank you so much for doing that. But I'm looking for ideas. You know, I think the striping should be kind of subtle, but I want it to carry over between both trucks. That's always been a dream of mine, to have matching dump trucks, to create my own look and have something that identifies them as mine. You know, this truck looks like its previous owners. Just like that blue and white Sterling I had, everywhere I went, they said, hey, is that such and such's truck? And I said, yeah, well, it was. So that's what's on my mind and in the plans for this truck eventually. I'm just slow to get things done. But this week is gonna go by fast because it's Harlan Days on August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So we are gonna be very busy with that this week. If you're local, then maybe I'll see you over there. And if not, if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for clicking. Talk to you later. You know why he's here? Because we're friendly to deers. John Deere's. Ah! Best one of the day.
Yeah. Hit 2 good balls today. Stepped on a rake.